So, first of all, Bruchim Abayim, Shalom Aleichem, for whoever it's his first time here. Just to give a short introduction, the shir, it's a little hard to give a shir after Rabbi Finger gives a shir, because it's like, you reach the top with him, so it's like competition is hard. But we're not in competition, so it's fine. But I just want to give an introduction to the shir that every week there's a different topic. Sometimes the topics are connected, but you don't need to be in the previous week in order to understand the next week. So whoever missed the last week or is going to miss a different week, he can still come and he'll totally understand. And that's one thing. And another benefit is if you don't like the shir this week, it doesn't mean you won't like it next week, because it's a different shir. So there you got it. You got, a short introduction. This week,
You like the challenge everyone.
yeah, and there's the challenge every week, and every week the challenge is kosher, and every week glad kosher, and my wife makes it, and every week she's nervous that it's not good. That is every week. All right, so last week we started speaking about, whoever wasn't here, we started speaking about Zachar es Yom HaShabbos Lekadsho, which is, another thing, forgot to mention, in the introduction for all the new members, all the new people, whoever wants to, sponsor the chalent, including the meat, the kishka, everything. It's somewhere between $50 to $60. There's no profit here. It's just to sponsor the chalent. Whoever wants, for any zchus, le'ili nishmas, for refuah, for parnasa, just for excitement in the place, feel free. If you want to add, feel free to add. All right, so we started speaking last week about the chiyuv, the obligation of kiddush, of saying kiddush, and where it comes from the pasuk Zachar es Yom HaShabbos Lekadsho. But this week I want to speak about something slightly different that's also learned out of this pasuk. This pasuk is a pasuk which is in Aseret Dibros, Zachar es Yom HaShabbos Lekadsho. And something interesting about this pasuk is we mention this is something I think very interesting custom that started 400 years ago, and I think all Klal Yisrael, wherever they are, have a minhag for this custom. And the chiddush in it is usually a new custom that starts, even if it's 900 years old. Really, it's the Ashkenazim do it, or just the Sephardim, or just the Yemenites. You'll find a group in Am Yisrael that have this custom, and the majority, or the other parts of Am Yisrael, don't have this custom. But this is a custom that all Klal Yisrael have. What is that custom? The custom of singing L'cha Dodi by Kabbalas Shabbos, and singing specifically the song L'cha Dodi, which was composed only 450 years ago by Rabbi Shlomo Alkabatz in Tzfat, by the time of the Bis Yosef and the Ari. And it's fascinating that any shul you go, it could be Sephardi, Hasidish, Ashkenazi, Litvish, whatever you want to call the shul, they'll all say it. Some will sing it, some will say it, some will mumble it, but everyone say it. And it's a big chiddush, especially for something that was just composed 400 years ago and became a minhag, a custom in the whole Am Yisrael. But one of the more interesting things that we say, one of every calendar you could really open up and learn what exactly he meant. Shlomo Alkabatz was one of the greatest Mekubalim and a big darshan, and many stories about him and the Ari. They were friends, they were together, they davened in the same shul with Beis Yosef. And they had two shuls in Tzfat, one next to each other, but there's many stories of them together. But one of the how do you say batim? One of the columns of the song L'cha Dodi is Zachar v'Shamar b'dibur echad hishmi'anu Keil HaMiyuchad, Hashem Echad, Ushma Echad, L'Shem Tiferes, V'Lisila, which means Zachar and Shamar were said in one dibur. Hishmi'anu, we heard it from Hashem HaMiyuchad, and then we talk about Achdus, Hashem Echad, Ushma Echad, L'Shem Tiferes. What does it mean? Zachar v'Shamar b'dibur Echad. Literally, what does it mean? What Zachar and what Shamar is referring to that both of these were b'dibur Echad? So the answer is, we have Aseret Adibros is written twice in the Torah. Once in Parshas Yisro, and once in Parshas Vayeschanan. And there's many differences between the Aseret Adibros that's in Parshas Shmos, in Parshas Yisro, and Chumash Shmos, and in Chumash Dvar. And one of the differences is when by the Dibra of Shabbos, it says by Parshas Yisro, it says Zachar es Yom HaShabbos L'Katsho, which means remember the day of Shabbos in order for the Kedusha. That's what it says in Parshas Yisro. By the first time Aseret Adibros is mentioned. Second time Aseret Adibros is mentioned, it's mentioned as Shamar es Yom HaShabbos. You should watch Yom HaShabbos. So there's a difference between the way it's written the first time and the way it's written the second time. And the Gemara says on this that really there was one Maimad Arsina. There was once that Hashem said the Aseret Adibros, and in Chumash Dvarim it's repeating what happened in Chumash Shmos. But still there's differences. It's because really both of them happened. Zachar and Shamar were both said. There was Zachar es Yom HaShabbos L'Katsho and Shamar es Yom HaShabbos. They were both mentioned by the Dibur of Shabbos, when we were commanded by Shabbos. But not only they were both mentioned at the same time. Zachar v'Shamar b'Dibur Echad, in one saying.
So Moshe meant it, but he didn't write it.
So there's the Rishonim speak about why he wrote by Chumash Shmos the Zachar and by Dvarim the Shamar. There is reasons for that. But both of them were said to Am Yisrael together. And there's a halachic nafkamina. How do you say nafkamina?
Difference?
Verification, like outcome. A halachic nafkamina.
Difference. What comes out
Not
from
difference, nafkamina.
What comes out from it?
What? What comes out from it? A halachic consequence that they were said together. There's a question: are women? And we discussed this slide last week. Are women chayev in the mitzvah of kiddush? Mitzvah's kiddush is a mitzvah aseh, and there's a law that any mitzvah's aseh, any commands that are depend on time, women are pater. Mitzvah's aseh shazman grama, women are pater. So are women chayav in mitzvah's Shabbos? L'chara, the mitzvah of Shabbos, it's a mitzvah aseh shazman grama. It's only on Shabbos. It's once a week. It's in the time zone. And that is exactly the thing that women are pater. The Gemara says that they're chayav. And the reason they're chayav is because women, even if they're pater in mitzvahs aseh, they are belong in time, but in mitzvahs lo saseh, even if they belong in time, they're chayav. So women are mechayav to keep Shabbos. They're obligated to keep all the lo sasehs of Shabbos. And the Gemara says the following: because Zachar and Shamar came down together, they're learned from each other that whoever is obligated in one has an obligation to the other one as well. So the reason women are mechuyev, are obligated in the mitzvah of kiddush or in any mitzvah saseh of Shabbos, it's because that they came together and we could learn one from another the Shamar and the Zachar. And Shamar is talking about keeping, which means not doing anything wrong. That's how the Gemara learns the mitzvah of Shamar. Shamar is watching not to do any lo saseh. And Zachar is regarding all the mitzvahs aseh of Zachar Yom HaShabbos L'Katsho that we do by Kiddush. So whoever belongs, whoever is obligated in the Shamar part, which means the lo saseh, which includes women, will also be obligated in the Zachar. And even though it's written in two totally different places, one is in Chumash Dvar and one is in Chumash Shmos, almost two ends of the Torah. But because
it's not in order, don't forget.
What? Yeah, but because they were given together, we could learn one from another. That whoever has the Shamar has the Zachar as well. It seems in the Gemara, if they weren't given, it was just two separate psukim, two separate sayings of Hashem and Har Sinai, then women won't have the obligation of Kiddush, because we won't learn one from another. The reason we can learn one from another is because they were given down together. So it's like one unit. You have one, you have the other. So that's just a halachic consequence that comes out by this thing of Shamar v'Zachar b'dibur echad. Now,
I'm sorry.
go.
Do we run out all the laws of Yom Tov from Shabbos too?
Yeah. I think so, but I'll look into it next week. If I come up with something, if I remember. I'll remember and I'll remember to tell you. All right. So now we have this clear, the Zachar and Shamar. But what is Zachar is Yom HaShabbos V'Kacho? So last week we spoke a little bit about the Lekacho part, which means the actual making of the Kiddush. But there's another halacha which is learned out from Zachar is Yom HaShabbos Lekacho, literally from these words. And it's a machlokas, Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. Beis Shammai, it's a Gemara in Maseches Beitza. The Gemara says the following: Amru alav al Shammai hazaken. People used to say on Shammai, the original Hillel and Shammai. So the original, not Beis Shammai, which was already the next generation, but the original Shammai. What did they say on him? Kol yamav haya ochel lekavod Shabbos. All week, all his life, kol yamav, he ate lekavod Shabbos, and that makes no sense. What does it mean that he ate lekavod Shabbos when he's eating a bagel on Monday morning, or whatever he ate, right? What does it mean that he ate lekavod Shabbos? So, what does it mean? Say he used to find a nice cow. He used to walk down the street and see a nice cow for sale. He used to, this beautiful cow, this is for Shabbos. He took it. That was on Monday, or Sunday, or whatever day. The next day he's walking down the streets and he sees a nicer cow. A better steak, a better grain. This one was fed grass, this one was fed corn, and for whatever back then the style was better. The next one he saw was for Shabbos, was nicer. He said, this one will be for Shabbos. And then the first one that originally he took for Shabbos, he ate that day. So that's called that all his life he was eating lekavod Shabbos. Because why did he eat the first one that he found and not the second one? Because he wanted to eat this one so he should have a better food for Shabbos. So the Gemara says, people used to say on him, his whole life, he used to eat lekavod Shabbos. And this is from Zachar es Yom HaShabbos Lekacho, that he used to carry all week long the memory of Shabbos, and whatever he did was for Shabbos, and therefore, even when he ate, it was in order that on Shabbos, he'll have something better. So that's why we could say anything he did was for Shabbos. Now this was the Shita of Shammai. Hillel, they already, even in this argued, Hillel had a different opinion. What was Hillel's opinion? The Gemara says the following. Aval Hillel azaken mida acheres hoysalo. He had a different mida, a different way of acting with this whole thing. What did he do? Shekol, I need to read the paper. Shekol Yamav, Shekol nice of L'Shem Shammai. Shammai was, all he ate was for Shabbos. Hillel was different. Everything he did was L'Shem Shammai. And the Gemara brings a pasuk, and in a minute we'll explain this. The Gemara brings a pasuk. What does it mean? What is the source? Shenemar, Baruch Hashem, Yom Yom. So, Baruch Hashem, Yom Yom. And the continuation of the pasuk is Yam Uslanu. Hashem will give us. So Rashi says, what does it mean, Midah Acheres? Rashi over there explains. Midah Acheres Hosalo. On Sunday, he found food, he found a cow, he ate it. What's going to be with Shabbos? He had bitachon in Hashem. Hashem is going to send him a good cow for Shabbos. Not from Sunday he was going around carrying, what am I doing for Shabbos? That's what it's mashma. Rather, he's living the day. But not living the day in a way of like, you got to live the day because you don't know when you'll die. Rather, Hashem will take care of me for Shabbos. Hashem will take care of me. He's taking care of me today. He'll take care of me tomorrow. And he'll take care of me the next day. And it seems like this machlokas, the post can speak about, who is the halacha like? Like Shammai or like Hillel? When a person sees a nice steak, he goes to Moshe's or whatever supermarket he goes, and he sees a nice cut, and it's not because it's on sale he's buying it, but it's a nice cut. He says it's l'Shabbos. Or you should buy it for tonight. Eat it tonight, and Hashem will send a nice piece of meat to Moshe's tomorrow, and I'll go back to Moshe's tomorrow and pick it up, or whatever supermarket he goes to.
Should it sound like a moon or something?
Thing in bitachon, like he had this bitachon that Hashem will do it. And it seems like the poskim, in a simple way, they say the halacha is like Hillel. Always the halacha is like Hillel, they bring a raya from a medrash. However, Rashi in the Chumash, on the pasuk of Zachar is Yom HaShabbos Likacho, Rashi says the following. What does it mean, Zachar is Yom HaShabbos Likacho? V'chein pitrono. This is what the pitrono, this is the meaning, the explanation of it. Tenu leiv, give your heart. Lizkor is Yom HaShabbos. Remember the day of Shabbos. She'im nizdamen lo chayfetz yafeh. If you see something beautiful during the week, if you happen to see it, mazmina for Shabbos. Tehei mazmino. Order it, say this would be for Shabbos. Pick it up and say this is for Shabbos. And it seems like Rashi is bringing the opinion of Beis Shammai, which is the opinion which in a simple way we don't go halachically way. And the question is, why does Rashi, when he brings on the pasuk, why does he bring the explanation of Beis Shammai and not the explanation of Beis Hillel to the whole way of viewing this Zachar Yom HaShabbos Lekacho? And this is a question, and the Mefarshim speak about it. I want to say the answer that the Maharal gives on Rashi. The Maharal says the following. Shammai's shita is great. Shammai's shita is whatever he sees, he's living Shabbos like the pasuk means in a simple way. Zachar es Yom HaShabbos Lekadisho. Remember Shabbos all week long and act accordingly. You see something nice, have it for Shabbos. And Hillel also agrees with that. Hillel doesn't argue with this opinion of Shammai. This way of living Shabbos out through the week, Hillel also agrees. Where was their argument? Their argument was, Hillel's opinion was, if I need to buy supper and I go to the store, I don't need to keep it for Shabbos. Because Hashem, just like now when I'm hungry, He's sending me this steak and I don't need to keep it for Shabbos, tomorrow He'll take care of me. But what happens if he goes to the store to buy that steak, and right next to the steak he's buying for supper, he sees a lamb chop, or some other kishka for Shabbos that he really likes. And he's like, oh, this I won't do for supper. This thing that I see now, I would keep for Shabbos. That Hillel also agrees, like Shammai, that for sure you keep it for Shabbos. So the daily activity that you have to do, you have to make a tuna fish sandwich and it comes out really good. Eat it then. That Hillel holds. Shammai says if the tuna fish sandwich came out good, keep it for Shabbos and make another one. Hillel says, I made now my tuna fish, I guess tuna fish won't last that long, but whatever sandwich you make and it looks good, this sandwich you should keep for Shabbos. That's Shammai's opinion. Hillel's opinion is, you need to eat now a sandwich. This is what Hashem wants you now, and have bitachon that Hashem will send you another sandwich. But if you find something that you don't need it for now, it's not in your daily activity that you need to eat now, that you should keep for Shabbos. And look how beautiful the Maharal is medayek in the words of Rashi. Rashi says, when he explains it, he says, Tenu lev, give a heart, lizkor Yom HaShabbos tami, to always remember the day of Shabbos. What? She'im nizdamen lo chayfetz yafeh. If it happened, nizdamen means you bump into it, if it happens to be, it wasn't intentionally. You find something good, something pretty, a nice dish, a nice plate, that you should keep for Shabbos. Rashi very carefully doesn't say that anything you have that's nice, you should keep for Shabbos. Rashi very carefully says, only if you bump into something unexpectedly, which means it's not something that you needed for your daily activity, that's the thing you should take for Shabbos. So what do we take away from this whole thing, from this whole machlokas? The mitzvah of Zachor es Yom HaShabbos Lekacho. It's a mitzvah, it's a pasuk in Aseres Adibros. And we have an obligation out through the week to remember Shabbos. And, we see a good, I don't know if a light beer but a good Heineken, keep it for Shabbos. Unless you're a light guy, unless you need it for your daily activity. That is where Hillel kicks in. If you need it for your daily activity, drink the beer now. And you could have bitachon in Hashem, you could trust Hashem. Hashem will send you another beer before Shabbos L'kavod Shabbos Kodesh. So your ratzon, we should have this living of Shabbos out through the week. And it's one of the sheish schiros, which many people say either after Shacharis, or just they mumble it in their car, or there's some, like Jewish cars, you turn on the thing and automatically it says Tfilas Haderech, sheish schiros, Gimel Ikrim. So one of the sheish schiros is Zachar es Yom HaShabbat L'Kacho, because it's one of the things which we remember, there's 6 of them, but this is something which we should always take with us out through the week. And B'ez Hashem, through this, live a little bit Shabbos, be a Shabbos like Shammai. Kol Yamav Ha'ochel Hashem Shabbos, we're living Shabbos, and it'll advance our week to be a little more spiritual. B'ez Hashem. All right.
Nice.